So are you ready to PR yourself? We'll remove the mystery from all things PR, and we'll discuss everything from our top strategies to tips and tricks and everything that you can utilize to further enhance your brand or your message. I've been in media, I'm a journalist, and I'm also a publicist. I am Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, and your host for PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I must say, you guys made season 1 a hit, and it made me so happy to hear from so many of you guys via email, direct message on how you're going to PR yourself better, especially as we move into 2021. So thank you so much for all the kind words, and for all of you guys that are leaning in and putting in the work. This podcast is for you. So for those of you who are looking for a little bit extra oomph for your businesses and for your brands, I have something for you. Be sure to always visit pryourselfwithleahfrazier.com. Make sure you're signed up for our email list where I send out episode recaps. I'm going to send out when I'm doing webinars, when I'm going to be live. I'm going to send out when we're offering our next live course. So be sure to sign up for that email list, pryourselfwithleahfrazier.com, and never miss an update. That way you can PR yourself better and just do bigger and better things as we move into 2021. Also, exciting news. My book, PR Yourself, will be coming in 2021. So be sure to go to pryourselfbook.com and sign up again for that email list. You're not going to want to miss when pre-sales drop. You're going to want to be the first to get this book in your hand. And I'm not kidding you guys. I was on the phone yesterday with an organization that's going to have me do a workshop in June, and they have already pre-ordered 50 copies. The manuscript is not even turned in yet, and they have pre-ordered their 50, and you're going to want to get yours too. So pryourselfbook.com. And lastly, if you're like, Leah, you know what? I need that hands-on training with you every single month, whether it's marketing, whether it's PR. Hey guys, I have something super affordable for you. You're going to want to go to think3media.com/think3edu, and you're going to sign up for our subscription service. It's only $49 a month, you guys. And what you get is one live, you heard it right, one live session with me on a marketing or hot PR topic of the month. And then you're also going to get a mastermind session with other business and brands that are just like you, where maybe you're stuck on an issue. What we do when we mastermind together, we help you to get unstuck so that for those next 30 days before you go into the next month where we do another session, you can work on that item and take your business or your brand from one level to the next. That's what it's there for. So go to think3media.com/think3edu and sign up for our subscription service. That way you're always learning on how to market yourself better and how to PR yourself better as we move into 2021. And without further ado, enjoy this latest episode and stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. And again, it's yet another fashion show here at the Slate. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, so every time the news gals come in, I start to feel less and less good about myself.
Stop it!
So today in particular, because I knew this next guest was coming in, I said, you know what? I'm going to wear this cool new blazer I got from my girl, Leela Orr, who's on Project Runway, has a store in Trinity Groves, by the way. And so this amazing sustainable blazer that's kind of funky. You can wear it a couple ways. I was like, I'm going to wear that and some really comfortable jeans and some really cute slide-on heels, and that'll be me dressing up for my news girls. And I got outslayed again by Jenny Anchondo of CW33. I mean, welcome, but can I have my edges back, please?
Oh my gosh, I'm cracking up. Well, it's funny because when I walked in here, I thought, I know we're going to talk about fashion wardrobe, and yours is so on point. Like, this is if people should see it. And I also love sustainable, and that you have this Project Runway friend. So
I'll tell you more
there's
about
a lot.
that.
That's amazing.
You have to go. It's one of those places where, so I just went in to support her. She opened a store called Sept, S-E-P-T. There's a whole thing behind the name. I thought it meant September. I was totally wrong. And I was like, oh, I'm just here to support you. And she had another Project Runway designer that came in from, gosh, I'm going to get it wrong. I think it was Ohio. and she was having a pop-up, and the whole store is sustainable pieces. So even in my bag right now, I'll show you. You guys can't see it. I bought this coat blazer kind of hybrid thing, but even these shades, Jenny, so they're like turtle, tortoise, kind of pink tortoise shades. They're fashionable, but these are sustainable. So even the way they do the plastic apparently is sustainable. And then you see the case here. It's almost like basket woven. I'll let you touch it and all that fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, I love these glasses. Well, and you know, some companies are starting to do plastic out of plants. Like that's the new thing where when you're done with them, you can just like put them into the earth and they just disintegrate.
And that's, I promise you. Ooh, girl.
I mean,
y'all, she just put my shade. She outslayed me again.
I'm just taking these.
2 for 2.
Thank you for the gift for me.
Jenny, you didn't see what I saw with your outfit. Okay, we're gonna have to call Leela. That was pretty slamming.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, she has on a fabulous red dress. I'm just gonna describe her from head to toe. A very popped red lip, and then she put my shades on, and then outslayed me on my own stuff.
I would never.
I can't take you
I would
guys.
never.
So introduce yourself to the audience who may not have. I've stalked you over the years,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
I have.
Oh my gosh.
I know all my people.
Well, and it's been fun to work with you on different PR projects and stuff. You guys know that Leah is such a pro in the business. So I moved to Dallas about 7 years ago to work for Fox 4. Then I worked on one of our syndicated shows that was based out of Dallas called Morning Dose. And then it moved to Houston. When the company was sold, we were all without jobs. Crazy times. It was such a beautiful time, though. I started doing a bunch of media coaching, found a real passion in that. And now I'm back on the air with CW33 with a show that I partially pitched to them that was a podcast and then has transformed into a TV show. So it's been really fun. Before that, I worked for Fox in Indianapolis and CBS in Arizona and NBC in Washington State. So I've kind of been everywhere. But Dallas, like, this is where I live. I got married here and had a baby here. So, like, you know, you can't leave now, right?
When did husband fall on the timeline?
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of travel.
It was a lot, and I didn't think I would stay here. You have this trajectory of where you think you're going to go professionally, and I had zero plans of like stopping for a man, which I haven't stopped for a man, but you know what I mean? I had zero plans of like pausing, you know, the movement. And so I met him a year in, which was 1 year into my first contract. So I was like, well, we'll see how this goes for a year. Well, he proposed 6 months later. Before the 2-year contract was up.
Oh my goodness.
So it was just, yeah, so it was great. And we, you know, got married here and we just love it here.
But I love having these conversations with you guys because you guys teach me so much about markets, and this one's a zero market, and these are our top 5, our top 10. And so Dallas is in the top. So you must have big dreams. Like, where were you going, Jenny?
Well, so I wanted to work on the national level, and it's so crazy because I did get to with that show that happened to be based here. So I've, you know, back before vision boards were cool, when you had to like pretend that you didn't do them because people would make fun of you, I did vision boards. Like Oprah did an episode about vision boards a bazillion years ago when we were like little kids. And so my mom and I have been doing them forever. And so I always had this vision of doing a national show and really having a big impact and doing positive stories on a national level. And so that was where I was going. Fox 4 was great, but I was like, this is great. It's local news. Love it. But like, I've outgrown this space. Yeah. And so then I didn't, you know, we don't have to figure out like how we're going to get there. Yeah. We just have to know what the there is. Right. So I was able to do that, you know, here from Dallas and do this show that was all over the country. So it was kind of a beautiful thing and a beautiful sort of part of the journey, I guess.
And you guys had excellent chemistry. Like Layla and I were super close before she abandoned me for LA, but we're not even going to go there.
Rude of her.
How rude. But it was a great show. So you guys did a good job.
So fun. And I know I'm going to work with Layla again. Like, she's so talented, and she's going to, she thinks she's staying in LA, but like, she's going to come back here. We're going to get some other syndicated show here in Dallas, and she's going to come back. I love her.
If she comes back, I will be very surprised. I mean, I stalked her on Instagram, and I'm just like, I used to live in LA many years ago, and it was one of those places where I'm like, I miss it so much. I miss easy access to the beach, and she's just living her best life, so I'm just going to let her just stay on out there. Don't forget about us, Texas girls. So talking about things that are cute, though, and we're going to wear them, I want to pick your fashionable brain, because when we talk in terms of PRing yourself, image is everything. And showing up appropriately with your apparel, with beauty, and all of those things, even skincare is important when you're making TV appearances, right? And even podcast and YouTube appearances. Yes. So talk to me about fashion on air.
Okay, so there are a few like hard and fast rules that really, like, I don't want to say everybody has to follow them, but really, like, not too many colors, not too many crazy things. You want to just limit distractions. So I say that, but then also, if you always wear a bold red lip like I did today, or if you have curly hair, like, don't straighten it. If curly hair is your thing and everybody knows you with curly hair, don't straighten it because you're going to be on TV, and vice versa. If you have straight hair, don't all of a sudden be like, well, I'm going to go get this weave, or I'm going to go.
It's written all over your face that you're uncomfortable.
Yes. So you want to be comfortable, and like it's really like dress your best, but your best, if your best is jeans, blazer, like cool earrings, then do your best version of that. I think that people really get out of their head, like they get kind of funny on it when they think, oh my gosh, I booked an appearance, now I need to go get all new things. No, you need to find the best of what you have that's not distracting. So best colors for TV, and really for Zoom, YouTube, even just doing your own IG live is going to be something solid colored, and then, a little bit of jewelry. If, like I said, if you're somebody who wears the big earrings, I wear the big earrings. Yeah. I've been criticized it by a million different news directors, but I think that they work, and I feel good in them, and I know that exudes on camera more than that little distraction of like a little bling next to me. I like some bling. I think that it's fun and it makes me feel confident. But if you're the gal who wears, a little skirt suit and flats and tiny pearl earrings, do that on TV. Don't switch up your look entirely for TV. Really small prints are going to distract on camera. So that's just, you don't want those tiny little floral prints that can be so cute in person. Not on camera. Same thing with stripes. They can work, but they can also not work. So you don't want test day. If you're on camera every single day, then sure, you can test it ahead of time. But if you're getting your one shot, like no stripes, no big bold patterns, makeup should be a little bit bolder than what you normally do. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's thinking, like, I'm not a makeup gal, like totally fine to do a natural look, but do a little bit more than you would normal day in order for your features to show on camera. The other thing with like lipstick, for example, even if you're a minimal makeup person, at least wear a gloss or a lipstick or something so that we can see your mouth move. Right. And so we can kind of hear your emotion and everything like that. With hair, again, if you got curly, keep it curly. If you got straight, keep it straight. Don't do anything drastic, but make sure it's polished. Right. So it's kind of one of the, like, you don't need to do Anchor News helmet head.
That's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Like when I started out in news and was 21 years old, and they want you to look 35. Like I've looked 35 for my entire life.
Those pics. They're on the blog, Jenny.
They're so good. They're so good.
When she talks about helmet head, this is what she means.
Like, don't go helmet head, but make sure it's polished. And then the most important thing about the appearance is once you get on camera, forget about it. Anything you did or did not do, it no longer matters because you're on camera now. So don't be adjusting your hair or, touching your lips or moving, taking your earrings off.
Leave it alone.
Don't leave it alone. You've made it to the moment. You did the best you could, and then it's time for your personality to shine.
Now, I'm petty, or maybe you don't, but I'm telling you, I'm petty. I need to know, have you guys ever, whether it was pre-COVID or not, have you ever told someone, sis, I need you to go back to the drawing board and make that. Did you bring anything extra with you to the studio?
I have not, but I'm going to tell you because I've worked in media coaching. I've had situations where I'm in the makeup room with the guest. A lot of stations, like, ideally they have a separate area for guests, a separate area for the host. If they don't, then you're kind of in there getting ready together, where I've said, oh, I've got this hairspray here, or if you want to just, help out in this way, or like I brought my curling iron, or like feel free to use any of the stuff in here. Hint. Oh my gosh, one gal who is I don't know if I should say her name or not. I don't think it's really a bad thing to say her name. Taya Kyle showed up, Chris Kyle's wife, and she had forgotten her makeup bag. No. And she does a ton of media. She's always done it. She's done a ton of media. and she forgot everything. And she wore every single drop of my makeup that day.
Oh, wow.
I know it's not sanitary, you guys, and this was pre-COVID, just for the record.
Yeah.
But like, you've got to help each other out. You know what I mean? Like, help a girl out,
God
right?
bless the fact that y'all, like, you know, because certain colors don't work well on certain people.
I know,
so that worked out
she's a little more
perfect.
fair than I am, but it just kind
You're
of
really tan today.
yeah. So it was like a bronzed look, but you know, she looked beautiful, and she's done a lot of media, and she spoke from the heart in her own way, you know. So it was just kind of funny, but yeah, you know, you do, or you also think about when you're rebooking somebody, you know. Did they show up as their best?
Speak it again, Jenny, because I try to tell people, like, when you go on, this isn't a one-time thing. Like, that's not the goal. The goal is, like, and I just had this happen the other day with NBC. Leah so-and-so dropped out Monday. I know you know everybody who can fill this slot. And I'm like you. I'm thinking about who's the person that I know can trust that will do a great job.
That will bring it. That's like, yep, I got it. I know my Skype ID. I've got my Zoom set up. I have a ring light if they need a virtual interview. Perfect. What's, you know, oh yeah, I know what NBC set looks like. I've got something that coordinates or whatever. That person, it's just, especially at a last minute thing like that, you're just going to rebook them because they make it easy.
Yeah. And fashion is a part of that. Sometimes your know-it-all or your expertise is not enough. They want the full package.
Yes, and you want them to it's like you want the guest to show that it's important to them, right? That they see the gift that it is.
I'm just going to go into my personal shopping stylist hat from many, many years ago. Sometimes they try. And these poor little tinks, they just don't know any better. They are really like when they show up, they are trying. They just don't have that second, like, you know, when your mom tells you to do a 360 before you leave the house. They don't have that.
Nobody did that for them. One other thing I thought of, Leah, with wardrobe is like no cleavage, you guys, like no cleavage. I mean, as soon as you're done, by all means. Like,
by all means, let it all hang out.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going out, I will tell you that is, I love a V-cut shirt. I love a short dress. Like, I love sleeveless. But on TV, again, that's like a distraction, and it's just, you just don't want anything to take away from your message. And if you're going on there and feeling like you look really attractive, but it airs on the side of provocative or sexy or like just like too pretty, you know, you want to be taken so seriously and as a professional, unless you're going on as like you're talking about being sexy, unless you're a guest, the sexy guest, you know, it's like that sort of, and maybe speaking more to females on this, but just like exuding confidence from within with everything covered up. It can definitely be fitted, but just not too much leg or up above.
I love how you said that, because back in my attorney day, that was like always a topic of what type of suit we were wearing to court, particularly if you're having to address a jury or you're addressing someone other than the judge. It's like, we need them to hear what's coming out of your mouth and not looking at your pink suit and your animal print shoes, even though that's how I would show up.
I feel that. And I remember getting that same criticism like when I was younger and new in the business. I thought, but this is my style and I think I look great. But it honestly demeaned from my message. Right. Like, I'm smarter than that. Yeah. And so it's unfortunate that, you know, people are going to judge you for this, but you only get like 2 minutes. So don't make your 2 minutes be about how hot you are.
You can do that on Instagram.
Yes. And we will. We can and we will.
I have a final question about this, though, because again, in my like ADHD nature, and I don't like to wear many of the same things twice. I like things to pop. I need functionality, but diversification in my wardrobe. How do news anchors, because if you have to wear a bunch of solids, how do we make solids fun? I mean, there's only so many shift dresses in blue, purple, and pink that you can wear.
Oh my gosh,
so y'all try to do that to us too?
The standard issue shift dress. It is the standard issue news anchor dress. There's like a secret like TV news women Facebook group where people will like, you know, they grow out of a size or they go down a size or whatever, and we like exchange like, okay, this dress $100, like who wants it or whatever.
So funny.
But I think style's evolving with it too. Like on the show that I'm on now, Morning After, which is way more laid back, born out of a podcast. Like I do blazers, I do all of our wardrobes actually from Galleria. I wore Forever 21 the other day mixed with like my red bottoms. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of kind of high-low stuff, but I wore, I do wear some patterns on there, but again, this is something I've been doing for 16 years. So it's easy to figure out like, how do I mix that in and how will it go with the set? But if somebody's going on TV for the first time ever, like don't do metallics.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? But yeah, add some jewelry, add some fun shoes. I think a beautiful heel, once people get back to doing those in-person interviews, I think that's a really nice way to add sort of like your own style. Maybe you're wearing just like a fitted black dress with like a red heel or something like that. I think looks really pretty.
Yeah. So, and maybe different cuts at the neck.
Yes,
anything like
totally.
that. Like even today, like I love how your sleeves have personality.
Just like
little bitty touches.
Little touches, yes. And even the blazer jean top thing looks great on camera. If it's you,
okay.
If it's not you, don't do it because we can feel that it feels weird to you.
Your face.
Yes. And in men, it's easy.
I was
you know
gonna
what I
ask
mean?
you,
Like, oh my Lord,
crazy ties, maybe.
But yeah, well, it's the same thing with the ties. You don't want the pattern to be too small or too stripy. Like too stripy, it gets weird. Don't ever do green if you're going into the studio in case you're on the green screen. And scan for, if you do have any pattern on your outfit, scan for any green like woven in because it can key out and make you look like woo-woo, like funny house.
I did not know that. About the little bitty touches of green. I didn't know that.
Greens. Yes. And it's hard to, you don't think about it because you're like, oh, this dress is mostly blue or whatever. And you walk in there and all of a sudden they're like, what else you got? You're like, nothing.
So other pro tip, when you're able to go back in the studio, bring multiple options just in case. Don't think that what you're walking in there is what's going to actually make the screen.
So true. So true.
Any other fashion tips that you can think of before we move to our PR petty?
I feel it. I feel like we mostly covered it because the most important part is that when you get in there, that you think about okay, you put yourself together, but now it's your message and it's not your message. It's how can you help? Yeah. How can you help the audience? We touched a little bit on that idea that you want to get invited back, right? Because the truth is, one media appearance is great, but you want to be a repeat guest in order to make an impact and like have people really hear about your business and hear about you. And the way to become a repeat guest is to not get on there and name drop your book a million times, not get on there and name drop your website or your success, blah, blah, blah. You want to get on there and add extreme value, like the most value, make people want more, make them search for your website because you're so good. It's really that opportunity that people mess up so often because they're thinking about themselves instead of thinking about others. Like it always have to be others focused, always. And it will come back around to you, but that can't be like in your head or in your heart when you get on camera.
Have you ever been like totally cringed out with someone that was doing a ton of self-promotion instead of, can you just give the audience what they need, which is your 1, 2, 3 tips?
Yeah, and I try to redirect because I know that nobody, like you shouting at your website is never going to make somebody go to your website. But you showing that you're the expert in your field, you showing that you are just like the bomb, like you know so much about this topic is going to make people go to your website. You don't even have to give it. They'll Google you. They'll find you. Trust me, they'll find you. You know, it'll be on the graphic when you're done. They will find you. But it's not going to help your business goals or your visibility. And yes, it happens all the time. And I'm like, man, like, girl, you wasted your time. Yeah, and you won't be back. And I know that they're doing it. Like, they're not doing it because they don't care about other people. They're doing it because they want their business to succeed. But your business always succeeds when you help.
And the news stations are so great about sharing on their social media. One of the beautiful things I love as well is if you're tagging the anchor that did your interview or you're tagging the station, sometimes you guys will reshare it. You'll put in your stories. And like you said, it's on the screen. If you've given them, you guys are great. You have the actual sheet that you turn in ahead of time that has all your social and your website. You will get plugged. Don't jack it up by looking like a self-promo whore. I'm sorry.
Right, and it can even come across as if it's paid programming if you do that. And then people really think, oh, well, this person just paid to be on there, even if that wasn't. There's no, I paid programming is great, you know, and that's another great avenue for people. But earned media, like, you gotta
earn it. And we've talked about that in another PR Yourself episode, so we'll have to have you come back. But I'm gonna move into the PR petty. This is my favorite part.
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
Where our news anchors then puts on the hat of publicist. So you guys are in the know. You probably already know about this. This happened, I think, last month.
Okay.
So last month, our favorite fashion gal, Kim Kardashian, takes this luxurious trip for her 40th birthday to a private tropical island. She fronts the bills for family and friends. They're doing it in the middle of COVID-19. And they have a great time. And in true Kim Kardashian style, she posts everything to social media. I'm so happy to have gotten away for a little bit of time with my family and friends. I took all of them with me. It's my 40th, blah, blah, blah. And boom, then all the blogs hit. How dare you? We're in the middle of COVID-19. We can't afford to go on vacation. Where are you guys socially distanced? I don't see any mask. And it was a PR cluster. You know what? You are the publicist for Kim Kardashian. How do you spin this story?
Yes, I saw this and I went through this in my head thinking this is not being dealt with.
You're getting the
properly.
Phone call, Jenny.
Okay, so here's the deal. So if I'm talking to media outlets, I'm saying, first of all, thank you so much for asking about this. Kim obviously posted about it. She did want to just bring some light to the world and show what her family is doing. If you watch the previous episodes, you would see how seriously the family took it. In fact, Khloe went through a really long battle with COVID. The family members went to great lengths to stay separate. And then what they did was they made their own pod. This is actually what the CDC recommends. The CDC recommends making your own pod of people. Nobody comes in, nobody comes out. So because the Kardashians have worked hard in their life, they've worked hard on their businesses, they are able to afford to keep this pod and have the pilots be a part of this and have their staff be a part of this. You know, part of what the Kardashians do is share their lives, right? You've seen also, right leading up to this, that Kim had been helping people who were wrongly incarcerated. You know, Kim went back to law school or went back to school as a lawyer to try to defend people who were not able to afford that, who really had no voice. And so I think that, sure, people might look and think, really, Kim Kardashian, a voice for the voiceless? Actually, yes, that's absolutely what she's doing. And just like any American family, they wanted to go on a vacation and they were able to socially distance and follow the guidelines. I mean, even Dr. Anthony Fauci had said, look, if you're going to be together, you have to not be around anybody for 14 days leading up to it. And the Kardashians are blessed in the way, again, because they have worked hard for what they have to be able to go on this trip. So I'm so glad that you asked about it because it sounds like there were some concerns about it.
It was all over the blogs. You know how people are, they're keyboard thugs. They were just thugging and ganging away.
No, I don't really believe what I just said.
Listen, I was like, can I be, the way you just sold it to me, I was like,
Did you think I really thought?
Yeah, if I don't become Leah Fraser Kardashian soon and get in on this pod, Jenny,
get in with the pod.
That was awesome.
Is that good?
That was great. But you know what? Another spin that I saw that I thought was great, because, you know, Khloe's the firecracker, and she came out and said, look, there are people with businesses that are dying, and we went over there and spent a cajillion, just dropped so much money. So we actually helped families on that island and helped the economy instead of just staying at our homes in LA. And so I think tying that into how you pubbed Kim to say she's this person that's for the people, I think marrying those two angles, girl.
She's allowed to have fun, right?
Yes.
Is Kim not allowed to have fun? She's not allowed to work hard, play hard?
Yeah. I love it.
Pod hard, be friends
Pod
with
so
pod
hard.
Pod so hard. We're potting so hard right now.
Pod so hard. I need a t-shirt. If my t-shirt person is listening, I need a t-shirt. Hashtag pod so hard. Remember COVID-19 2020. Okay.
Oh my gosh. And now I'm a new spokesperson for the Kardashians. Who knew?
Yes.
And who knew I knew so much about them? I hope all that stuff's true.
Jenny, like that was amazing. Just because
Thank you.
she really did get a lot of backlash. And like I said, Chloe came out. Kim was like, look, it was my 40th. I think you can even probably take a mental health spin. Like, we all need to get out. This was a private tropical island. Like, how many people were they actually exposed to, really?
Right. I do kind of hate when people hate on people for having stuff. Yeah. They're like, really? You're mad because they were able to afford the private jet and distance with their family? Like, okay, well, then why don't you make a tape? Why don't you do whatever you want to do and get famous?
Yeah, do that. But we're not. I mean, but you're going to need to hire Jenny once that comes out to spin it to say that somehow it helps the people. Somehow it's going to help the American population when your tape comes out. Jenny, you have a career. Like, I mean, you have a great career, but if you were looking for a little side hustle, this works for you.
I'm so here for it.
I was convinced. And then you said, did that work? And I'm like, oh, she didn't believe me. Because I totally believed it. That was awesome.
No, I didn't, but I've done media training I've never done media training for the Kardashians or people of that, but I've done more on the corporate end or individual end where you're trying to figure out, like, the truth is, like, most people are good-hearted. Yeah. People do crappy things all the time. Some of them are really crappy people, but like most of them aren't. Yeah. So that's sort of, I think what PR is figuring out, like, how can the people who see, oh gosh, they've done something really wrong. Well, how can you get back to the heart of it and see the good in whoever that was?
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, because previous season 1, we were talking about Meg Thee Stallion, how she got shot by Tory Lanez, and then how could we spin Tory Lanez' side, because he actually released an album that talked about how he shot Meg Thee Stallion. And I was like, well, that's domestic violence. I need you to go do a lot of nonprofit and charity work for women's empowerment and nonprofits. So yeah, like you said, it's just that particular spin that is the heart of PR and sometimes in crisis management and what has to be done. And also, just to your point with being mad with what people have, or sometimes it's just they're good people, they just have a lack of social awareness. And we've talked about that as well, as like when COVID first hit, all the fashion bloggers that were still posting their damn outfit of days, when you got people over here
awkward.
You're dying and the numbers going up. Like, I don't care about like to know it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Don't
like to know anything.
Sell me a mask. You sell me a mask, I'll buy a mask. I don't care about your jeans.
Yeah. Well, and I think some of them really came out and did end up having heart, and some of them have businesses that are over.
Right.
You know, because we're like, really? Okay.
Really, sis?
Yeah, I need something else here. You're going to have to either be really funny to get me out of this funk.
Yeah, I started navigating more towards the travel bloggers, where I was in this mindset of just take me away. So I wouldn't have been mad at Kim. Like, let me live vicariously through you, that as soon as I get out of here, and I've actually had this conversation with friends before, like, where's our girls trip as soon as we get out of this? Greece, Sweden, where are we going? You know? So many places.
So many places. Oh my gosh.
Well, you've been awesome and great, and so many tips. And this is probably, I'm crowning you, my longest PR Yourself with Leah Frazier episode.
Oh, Lord. Leave it to me to talk longer than everybody else.
This is great. This is one of those ones where we're like zip by. Like,
it was so fun.
This is so fun. We're going to have you back. I'm thinking of fun things for you guys where, like, it's almost like a Jeopardy or Family Feud PR game of sorts between like news anchors and publicists, and or where they try to pitch you guys, and it'd be like, who would pick up what, or like brands and businesses with their angles, and see like what you guys would actually take on,
like Shark Tank kind of situation. Yeah, like pitch your story idea.
Yes. And if we could find a way to do it live, which I will talk to the slate, I think it would be so fun to have you guys here and have people call in for you guys to say, no, that wouldn't fly.
I'm so game. I'd have a hard time saying that. I would probably.
No, I need y'all to be mean. You're like Cleo Green. She came in.
Okay.
Well, I said no. We need it direct, blunt, and to the point, because that's how people have to take it.
Don't have time for pleasantries.
Well, I mean, that was cute. No, it was not cute. You got to go back and rework it. Next, ding, phone dial.
I am so here for PR Shark Tank.
Yes. You heard it here first, you guys. Maybe that's season 3 or 4, but Jenny's going to come back. Thank you for being here and taking time out. Guys, it's actually the day before Thanksgiving. So I really appreciate you for making time for me and our listeners.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love what you're doing. I think this is such a huge resource for people who are trying to PR themselves, who are trying to figure out where they want to go with their companies and with their PR. I think it's a great resource. And I joked with my husband, like, he's like, only you would want to go like the day before Thanksgiving and talk about work. But I love what I do. I love what you do. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jenny. And tell people how we can further stalk you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I forgot to pimp out my website during the entire show. So I'm at jennyanchondo.com, and then on all social media, Jenny Anchondo, which is ANCHONDO.
And you host events, correct?
Yes, I do. I MC, host, do it all.
Book Jenny. She's great. She looks great. She has a great voice. She's very energetic. Book her for your events.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Thank you for that.
Especially, I mean, there's the rise of the virtual event, and they still need hosts.
I do. I have been, you would not believe what I've hosted from my closet, but next time I'm going to try to book it at the Slate.
Yes.
Like next time I host a virtual event, this is a great venue.
Yes. Well, thank you, Jenny. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know what to do. If you love Jenny, just go and show her some love. Share the episode out. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave us a review. Episode suggestions, or you're interested in being in our PR Shark Tank that we actually just like Shark Tanked right here. Email me, Leah@think3media.com. Stay tuned, and until next time.